the 24th of March saw the release of the brand new MPC Sample. And since that day, it's pretty safe to say that it has been a runaway success. Now, even though most of the MPC or beatmaking community love it, there definitely has been some naysayers that have some problems. And Akai, less than a month after release, have already come out with an update which saves most of the naysayers' biggest complaints. So today we're gonna look at the MPC Sample, its updates, and what could be the future for this machine. What's good, YouTube? It's your host, Show Santana, and you are now watching the channel. Welcome. Now, since the MPC Sample has been released, I'm pretty sure you have seen this guy all over your social media. Whether it's been good or bad, everyone has had something to say about that portable beast. So, since the new generation of MPCs, starting with the Gen 1s, the MPC Live, the MPC 1, the original X, SXC, we have definitely seen an evolution of what the MPC is. It's gone from being a predominantly MIDI-based, sample-based beat-making platform to a fully fledged studio DAW in a box. But as well as all of the legacy features that the community has grown to love and respect Akai for over time, Akai have gone and added a ton of new modern features and EQing and techniques to the newer MPCs that I'm sure will attract a newer crowd of producers. People who are used to working on computers and all that stuff. So where does this all leave the MPC Sample? Well, when we think of the MPC Sample and its design and what it was actually meant to do, we can see that its whole thing is to just keep it simple. Akai want people to just be able to jump in, get their ideas out of their heads onto the machine and take it from there. If they want to expand on the idea in a bigger DAW or another standalone unit, they can. If they want to finish the idea completely on the machine, they can. It's about versatility and keeping it simple. And I'm only saying this because I've seen a ton of people ask for crazy things like stem separation, plug-in support and whatnot, and that is not what this machine is about. Now, if you want that in an MPC, there are machines like that available. We've got the MPC 1. So, update 1.3 was quite good in my opinion, especially for an update that arrived so quickly after the release of the initial product. Now, one of the things that people were really complaining about was normalization. And ta-da, that's been now added to the machine. Damn! Now, there's already a recording level knob and button on the back of the MP Sample which adjusts the recording level of the source you're sampling it into, and I already found that very useful. But the fact that Normalize option is now here for people who want to take their samples to the industry standard, like without thinking, at the press of a button, that's great. And again, that goes with the ethos of just getting your ideas out onto the machine quickly without no fuss or any hassle. So again, kudos to Akai, you get a point for that. Now you get options for being able to control these three knobs right here, which is kind of cool. Now, if you've used one of these already, you know that sometimes they can be inactive at certain times and whatnot. Now, basically, that means that you will be turning these knobs and they won't respond at all until the cursor reaches a certain point of the screen, and that it just can throw you off. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it can just throw you off when you're trying to do your thing, especially if you're trying to work quickly. Now, there was a couple of other MIDI options that were available in the update, but they weren't that significant. And these two features that I mentioned, as far as the MPC Sample and performance and workflow, these are more of a game changer. These are definitely more significant to everyone using it. Now, one thing I will definitely say about this new era of Akai is that they're trying to be as adept with their software as they are with their hardware, which means that this machine will pretty much evolve over time. And that is one of the most coolest things. That's the potential That's one of the real pieces of potential with this piece of hardware. The fact that in the next 6 months to 12 months, it will be a completely different beast. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw things like a chromatic synthesizer, like we have in a Roland SPK 404. Do you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that come very soon in this box right here. Updates which I'm definitely expecting are things that go along with the ethos of this machine. So I will not be expecting stem separation, even though it's probably possible because there is 2 gigs of RAM in here. And if they could get it to work on the older MPC 1 and MPC Live, they could pretty much get it to work on here. But I'm not expecting that because that's not what this machine's about. So I'm expecting things that will work alongside the way this machine will work. Right now, the MPC Sample has a 1-track workflow, and I don't reckon that is actually going to change. But I do reckon there will be workarounds to be able to get the feel of having multiple tracks. For example, so I'm pretty much expecting a new way of separating or grouping your instruments, your samples into separate folders and stuff like that, or groups within the project, and just being able to solo the pads so you can get the effect of listening to, let's say, the drums by themselves or the pianos by themselves or something similar to that. That would be really cool, like pad solo. So you press the shift button and one of the pads and one of the other buttons, and you can hear every time a specific pad plays in the beat, and that will provide the same thing as, you know, soloing on a track. You know what I'm saying? So there's a ton of workarounds to make you get the same feel as working on a traditional MPC. Now, another much needed feature which I reckon will be implemented in the future will be the ability to change the volume in a mute group or within a selected group of pads. Now, when you have, you know, a program for MPC2 users or a specific track for all my MPC3 gang, you can change the volume of all of the groups, you know, all of the pads collectively, all 16 pads. Everything on the bank, you can change that. Do you know what I'm saying? The volume of all your samples, which is good for if you've got, you know, multiple sounds on multiple banks. If you have 16 or more sounds on each pad, you definitely want to be able to manipulate and change those perimeters at the same time. Doing each one by one is insane. It is jarring, I'm not gonna lie. That is one of the only things which is not cool about this machine at this moment. I reckon that will be one of the things that gets changed and whatnot, like super quick. There'll be a new way of grouping your stuff together, which allows you to just and change the certain perimeters or the volume level. Because when you've got like a group of samples that all belong to the same melody or the same vocal sample, you want to just be able to change the perimeters on them like that. Everything the same, you know what I'm saying, and get it. You just want to be able to get it working, especially since the whole ethos of this machine is get your ideas out, keep the juices flowing, and finish your song and move on to the next. So I definitely reckon this is going to be one of the things that's going to be implemented, so the workflow will be less tedious. Now, another thing we will have updated is the file managing system, especially with the fact that this is selling so well. I reckon Akai are definitely going to want to look into making some kind of exclusive expansions, and I don't see an expansions folder or depository, well, an official one in the MPC Sample. Like, well, when you look at the root folder and whatnot, you don't see one there. So I reckon there's going to be an update in where Akai drop a folder that says expansions, and then that's where all the official stuff is going to go. I also wonder if there will be a way that we will be able to access the internal drive when we plug it into a computer. Now, I know Akai are definitely going to be protective about that because they want to stop people from hacking this thing and being able to get into it and being able to do cool and illegal stuff with it. And I completely agree. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at them. especially when, to tell the truth, they've given us something so dope already. At the moment, there's no need to hack this thing yet. But yeah, I definitely reckon Akai will eventually do some things with the file directory and stuff. Now, as I said before, one of the best things about the MPC Sample is that it's an everlasting, evolving product. Well, until the next one comes out. But you know what I mean. For the lifespan of this machine, it's going to be something that's going to continue to evolve. It's going to have new features. It's going to have new capabilities and a ton of stuff that we probably never expected for it to be able to do in the first place. So the question is, how far are Akai really looking to take it? And what features do you think they're going to add to the MPC Sample? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as I said before, stem separation, I think, is going to be out of the picture, even though it is technically capable. But I don't think, again, that goes with what this machine is actually about. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of chromatic scale or some kind of inbuilt synthesizer. I think that would be really cool. And yeah, so far, I'm not gonna lie, this is, as I said before, this is definitely one of my favorite machines and stuff like that. I totally understand why it's sold out everywhere and whatnot. I can completely understand why people want to get their hands on one. And I can understand why the people who have got their hands on them love them already. So if you haven't got one, you might want to, I don't know, you might want to, you know what I'm saying? So that's all for this video. If you are new here, let me know what you think of the MPC Sample. Will you be picking up one if you haven't got one already? Also, shout outs to everyone who checked out my last video, who liked and subscribed. Really appreciate that. And shout outs to the excellent staff at CEX in Kilburn who gave me a great deal on an MPC-X this week, even though it wasn't working. But yeah, if you haven't got an MPC Sample, you need to let me know why, because these things are amazing. And yeah, if you are new here, like and subscribe. Later.